Hello, crafty friends. Good morning. Let's say hi as you're hopping on today. I would love to hear who's out there watching. Is it chilly where you're at? Because wow, we are experiencing some really cold temperatures here today. We actually had a 2-hour late start because our buses won't start if it's below -11. And so yeah, our kids got to sleep in today and kind of enjoy an extra day because we had school off yesterday for Martin Luther King Day. So yeah, it's been kind of a crazy start to the week. I'd love to hear how your week is starting. Let me know in the comments as you're hopping on today. And welcome to Tea Time on Tuesday. If you haven't joined us before, then a special welcome to you. I am Taylor. I'm the owner and the creative director here at Tailored Expressions, and I go live every Tuesday at 10 o'clock Central to talk about our new products or promotions or whatever fun things we have going on. So we also do another live on Thursdays. So if you didn't know that, mark your calendar for Thursdays at 10 a.m. and we would love to see you there as well. We've got a team of people that go live on Thursday, Susan and Heather and sometimes Sue. So yeah, we'd love to see you on Thursday as well. Let's see who's freezing today. Terry is freezing in Minnesota, 5 degrees in Tulsa. Ooh, Burr. We were down in Kansas City this weekend for a volleyball tournament and so cold there as well. So very, very cold in Farmington, Missouri. Hello in Maryland, Betty. We have Trudy is here, very chilly in Louisiana. Seems like a similar sentiment, very cold everywhere. Freezing in Washington State, 20 degrees. I think, Whitney, do you know what we hit this morning? Was it -11 like they were saying?
-14.
-14?
I about died when I walked to my car.
Yeah, Whitney does not like the cold. She's been known to wear a parka in the summer.
I'm freezing all the time.
I know, and yet you live here.
I do that for you.
Here in the tundra of Iowa. Oh, yes, we've got 23 in Dallas. That is really chilly for that far south, you guys. Hopefully it warms up quickly for us. I'm hoping as well. I've come down with a little something. So if I sound not quite like my usual self, I'm going to apologize ahead of time for any coughing that happens during the live. I'm doing my best to calm the throat while I'm talking. I've got I should tell you guys this in case you also need a little something. I am not a coffee drinker. I don't love tea. I rarely make it to Starbucks, only when I'm sick. And if you have a little something going on in your throat or a cough, I highly recommend medicine ball tea from Starbucks. It soothes the throat. It makes me feel better. It's really the only time I drink Starbucks, but I do go to Starbucks for like the cake pops and that kind of stuff. But
the delicious lemon loaf.
The lemon loaf, so good. The breakfast sandwiches, the little egg bites, I get those a lot. Yeah. So I am not being paid by Starbucks to say this, but I do love my medicine ball tea, and I might take a quick break to sip on it today if I have some coughing going on. So, all right, should we get started? Let's do it. Whitney's got the claps going on in the background because we are excited about our retirement sale. We launched that this morning, and no, we are not retiring. I'm not retiring. The company's not going away. I feel like every year when we have a retirement sale, someone gets nervous, like, you're retiring? Nope, we're just retiring some products so we can make room for new things. So we have some great deals for you guys, and these are for while supplies last, 40% off our retirement sale products, and you can view all those by clicking on the banner on our homepage, and you can find all of the products that will be retiring. Once those quantities are sold out, they are gone. So check your collections, see what you have, what you might need to or want to fill in before those products go away. I'm going to pop a quick banner up on the page here so you can see 40% off starting this morning at 9 a.m. and going through next week at 9 a.m. So next Tuesday. You could see some cards that were made with some of the retiring products, and that's what we're going to do today, is talk about all of those goodies. And of course, I have some things to share with you as far as products you might want to look at from the retirement sale. And we're also not only, let me get back here to a better screen. Okay, so we're not only doing our retirement sale, but each year at the turn of a new year, we have some organizational products that we like to put out for you guys. Sticker sheets and labels that might be missing from your collection if you're using those to label your stencils, your ink pads, your clear stamps for our whole color collection. So let's go ahead and talk about those, and a very exciting announcement about Olo marker storage.
Girl, you know this is like my week. I get my stickers, I get my organizational stuff, and then, I can't wait.
Yes, Whitney's excited, all very excited about the organizational items. So let's talk about those first. We have here, now this is not a brand new product. You guys have seen these before. These are our True Colors labels. They are the thin labels that fit on the side of your ink pad. And a lot of people also use them for organizing their cardstock. The thing that is different about these is that we now have all of our color collection incorporated into this one sheet. So all of the new colors that were released last year in 2024 are now part of this True Colors label set. So we don't have those small label sheets anymore that had the 3 or 4 colors from our spring, summer, fall color releases. We now just have this large sheet that incorporates all the colors in our collection. So there it is. I know lots of people were asking about that one when it got removed from the website so that we could prepare for our retirement sale. They thought maybe it wasn't coming back, but there it is. Okay, then we have our Label It stencil storage stickers for 2024. This includes a label for all of our stencils that were released in 2024. What it does not include are combo stencils. So if it's a stamp and stencil combo, then it is not on here. These are just the stencils that you would store in the binder that we have and the sleeves so that you can label your stencils, the stencil sleeves inside your binders. So there's that, if you've been waiting on that one. Now, in addition to our ink pad labels, we have updated our True Colors clear stamps to include all of the stamps that were a part of our color releases last year. So this new stamp set includes every single color in our collection currently, and that's kind of our plan, is to release new colors through the year, and then at the turn of the next year we will put out a new stamp set that has all of the colors on it. Now this suggestion came from a customer, so thank you guys for making suggestions for things. This is the True Colors carrier sheet only, because I know lots of you have collected those little mini sets. As we release colors through the year, we put out a small mini clear stamp set with each of our themed releases, and now we have a carrier sheet only that you can purchase and kind of place your mini stamps on with your full set and create one piece that holds all of your stamps. Hopefully that makes sense. So this does not have any stamps on it. It is just the carrier sheet, so you can transfer all those small sets that you have onto one sheet and store them all together without having to buy a whole new set. So we wanted to put this out as just a less expensive option for having an easy grab. Everything's in alphabetical order, etc. So you have one space to find all of your pieces instead of searching through lots of different mini sets. Make sense? Any questions on that?
That is so useful, because you know me, I have all the mini sets, so I need to be able to organize them, and that's one of my favorite new things.
Okay, this is me sipping on my medicine ball for a moment. Just a second, please.
Everyone agrees that the medicine ball tea is amazing.
Okay.
It's like soothing the throat.
That was a lot of talking all at once. So let's see. Lots of questions. Whitney will get back to you on those specific questions that you have on the label sheets. Let me talk about the Olo marker storage. I'm going to pop another graphic up here because I have a picture of what is coming for you all who love your Olo markers. This is a spinning tower that holds your Olo marker collection. So the great thing about this is that you spin it and you can see both sides of the marker because there's a hole in the opposite side as well. So you can see how many markers does that store? 64 markers, but double-sided markers, yes. So that's 128 markers.
Yep.
So amazing. And we are super excited to have this in TE Teal. So if you are excited about getting this marker storage in your hands, it is not currently available for purchase right now, but go to our website, search Olo Tower, and you can put your name in or your email address for a notification as soon as the product lands on our website. We just wanted to give you a heads up that it's coming, and that will be the best way for you to know. As soon as it lands on the website, you will get an email that says it's now yours to purchase. So super fun. We always love working with Olo, and we're so excited that they gave us the opportunity to do this in my favorite color. So I hope you love it, and yeah, let's see. Should we get crafting?
I do want to craft today.
Okay.
It's one of my favorite sets that you chose.
I am super excited. So most of the products that I'm using on my projects today are on the retirement sale. So you might want to take a look at these, get them added to your cart. I have loved this trifold concept since we came out with it several years ago. I'm sad to see it go away, but we have some, of course, exciting new things to make room for. But this fun concept is a mini slim that has a trifold. We have the cards that we offer already pre-scored and ready for you, our trifold mini slim. They come in both toffee and sugar cube. I'm going to be using toffee today for my projects. So that's one product that's on the retirement sale. Then when we release those trifold mini slims, we also have these mini slim trifold templates and dies. They come in squares, hexagons, and circles with a set of stencils and a set of dies so that you can cut these frames perfectly into two of the layers of your trifold. So you have the larger shape in the front of your trifold and then the smaller shape in the second layer that folds over, and then you have your inside. So you can get really creative and decorate all the sides of this, really make it special, but it looks really fun and dimensional from the front when you have those multiple frames that nest perfectly in each other. And I'm going to show you how we do that today. I'll be using the squares here on the live, but I also created a card with the hexagons. And of course, circles are a great option too. So if you're buying some of these pre-folded trifold cards, then definitely take a look at the templates and die sets as well. And then one of my favorite images, sad to see this one go away, but this is our bee unicorn. It is a clear stamp and a coordinating die all in one package. So it's a stamp and die combo. And we're going to be using that to color and create the imagery for the inside of our trifold cards today. All right, I think I made it through. I did make one non-trifold card using the unicorn because I just couldn't stop. I stamped 3 of them, colored them, and this one I thought was really fun. That radiant cutting plate in the background, cloud stacklets down at the bottom with some stars, and I just thought it was really fun and sweet. So there we go. Okay, let's get started. I'm going to leave this one in the screen so you can kind of see where we're going with our project today. And I have one of the mini slim trifold toffee cards here. As I mentioned, they come pre-scored. So we're just going to go ahead and fold on those score lines and give them a good crease with the bone folder. And then you can see how that closes when you open it. You have a front flap, a middle flap, and then your back piece. So now we are going to go ahead and cut our squares into the trifold. Let me grab my square dies here. Okay, so the stencils are designed to be your template. What the template does for you is help you position your die just perfectly on your card front so that when you fold it, it is perfectly positioned in that kind of top third of your card panel. So if this is the front of my trifold, I'm going to grab the largest of the square stencil openings and position that over the top of that front panel. Then I'm going to take the larger of the square dies, and I need to grab some tape, but we're going to center that inside of the template. Okay. And then when it's centered inside of that opening, I'm going to tape it down. Then we are going to remove the template and send this through our die cut machine. Okay. We're going to need the die cut machine back very quickly here, so I'm just going to set it off to the side where I can grab it easily. So that is the front of your trifold then. I used the largest square die to cut that piece out. Now we want to cut a coordinating smaller square inside of here. There are a couple different ways you can do that. If you want to, you can use the smaller square stencil template, just like this. But a lot of times what I do is use this for blending maybe a little bit of a background onto the layer so that you can see that through your frames. And then I think an easier way to line this up is to turn your cardstock in. And then you have your frame already cut in the front, and you can use that simply to center your smaller square inside of the larger one that you already cut. So just make sure you're holding that card panel down. Tape that in place, and again, unfold it all the way because you don't want to cut into other layers of your card project. And we'll bring this back again. Claudia asked if the dies I'm using are also retiring. Yes, all of these trifold templates and pre-scored card bases are also retiring on our retirement sale. Okay, now when we take that piece out, you can see, fold your back piece in and your front piece over, and they should perfectly align together to create a dimensional frame into your card front.
Cute!
Super easy,
yes.
not hard to do, but often when you look at a die online and you think, okay, I see that. I see there are stencils in here and I see there are circles, but what do I do with those? How does that work? It's really simple once you see it in action. Okay, let's get out some Post-it removable labeling tape because we're going to decorate the front of our panel. And I want to use this labeling tape to mask off the fold in my trifold. So I'm just going to line up that on there. And this will also serve as a way to hold my cardstock down to my glass mat. And then I'm using the Mini Slim on the dot stencil. We're going to do something a little bit different. I actually had never done this before with this stencil, and I loved how it worked out. So I am going to use a little bit of teal tape to hold the stencil.
Did you do a raspberry this time?
I did.
I love it.
I kind of sighed because, you know, I had my nails red.
Yes.
And then I wanted hot pink, like this, hot pink. And so I picked a hot pink, and then it doesn't, my nail salon's sample colors never quite turn out like they should be on my actual nails.
Yes, but they're cute. I like them.
Well, thank you. They were a little more red raspberry colored than I was anticipating, but it's okay. All right, so we're going to take our sugar cube ink and place that down in the background. And I'm just going to use a dauber to kind of dab that onto the cardstock. A little bit easier to apply this way. Also, I like doing this step second as opposed to cutting second, because there's all this open space here that I don't have to feel like I need to cover with ink. This would be a good time to also grab my medicine ball and sip. Oops. I always wonder if I'm getting anywhere. And then I have to lift it up and peek underneath and, oh yeah, okay, I see it now.
Looking good.
Okay.
I see it coming together.
Sorry, everybody, I'm quiet today. I don't want to wake the beast inside me and start coughing. Okay, so let's take a peek underneath here. I think that looks pretty good. A couple of spots here that could use a little more color.
So this weekend, I did all of my reorganization of my cupboards and such. I feel like January is the perfect time to reorganize. So I'm very excited that we came out with the stickers and all of that, because I was planning on
what are you going to reorganize?
Reorganizing our craft room. Does that scare you?
A little bit.
A little bit.
Sometimes I'm like, Whitney, where did you put my this? It's always been here, and you decided it needed to change places, and now I don't know where it is anymore.
I know. It's okay. We'll
work through it.
We will work through it. January is the perfect time to reorganize your craft supplies. You kind of like have the time to go through them, and you've used all of what you've used during the Crafty holidays, and so it's nice to kind of shuffle through. And I say this every January, but I always re-ink our ink pads.
Yes.
It's a wonderful time to get those re-inked and ready to craft.
Yes.
Ooh.
I don't know if this question got answered, but I saw somebody asking again what the name of these dies are. It's the Mini Slim Trifold Template Plus dies. And they come in hexagons, squares, and circles. So hopefully that helps. Okay, so I did wash this stencil because we're going to do a stencil shifting technique next. And this is the part where I thought a little bit outside of the box from what I've done in the past with this stencil. I love this dot arrangement. It's lovely. But the great thing about this stencil is that it is symmetrical, evenly spaced. Actually, my glass board's a little damp now, so my tape doesn't want to stick to it. We have this lovely tool as well. Okay, so because this is evenly spaced symmetrical circles, we can take this and shift it so that a dot falls perfectly into all of those open spaces between the dots that we already blended. So you kind of have to look closely as you're aligning. Make sure you've got it straight. I think that looks good. And then I'm going to blend again with sugar cube ink. Then after this, we're going to wash our stencil one more time. Make sure that our background, our paper, is completely dry. I'll probably hit it with a heat tool. And then we're going to add color over the top of one of the layers of polka dot. And then that's going to give us kind of a fun background with sugar cube dots and colored dots. And the reason why I'm doing this in sugar cube before we do it in the color is because the sugar cube ink sits on top of the cardstock, and when you apply colored ink over the top of it, it allows the colored ink to keep more of its true color rather than be kind of diminished or dusty with the toffee cardstock that you're applying it to. It gives it more of its true intense color when you put the sugar cube underneath it. So it's one little extra step, but I think it makes a big difference in the way that the colors pop. All right, let's take a peek again. Ooh,
nice.
Those fun dots. All right, a little bit more up here, here. Okay. Feeling good about that, so we will remove that and wash our stencil one more time. We're done with the sugar cube ink now, so I can put that away. And my little spray bottle. Make sure we get it. The hard part is getting the stencil off of the glass board once it's wet.
Yes.
You kind of have to slide it off or get your, I can never get my fingernails underneath it. That's not an option for me.
We have a question. For the mini slim cards, do they require extra postage?
Nope, they do not. They are the same amount of postage as a regular card.
And we do have the mini slim envelopes in stock too to match some of our colors.
Yes.
I love that as well.
Yeah, so if you need an envelope for one of these, we have all the mini slim envelopes. Those are not going away. So pick a couple colors you like and same postage. Okay, so let's get my piece back here. One more time with the blending, this time in a rainbow of colors. So I am going to position this stencil over one of my polka dot layers and just make sure I can see those white dots perfectly all over, and we'll tack that down. I'm going to start with the yellow ink. So usually when I do a rainbow across a stencil, I start with my lightest color of ink, and even though it's going to go here in the middle of the stencil, I like to start with this so that I don't get dark ink on my stencil and then have to come in with a lighter blender brush afterwards. Hopefully that makes good sense to everybody. And this first ink color is Sweet Corn.
One of our new faves.
I do love it. It's especially bright on this toffee cardstock with the sugar cube underneath. Now we'll go up from here with Sweet Potato Pie. Little bit of overlap.
All right, Bobby wins. She said yesterday was 41 below wind chill in North Dakota.
Oh.
And I said, that is wild.
Oh.
I would.
Do you go outside?
Yeah.
Do your cars work?
Yes. Oh, so cold, so cold.
All right, dragon fruit is the next one going in across the top. little bit different color combination today. I'm going to bring in the Pear ink, which is a green that I don't use a whole lot, but I am loving how it looked with this color combo that I put together for this card. And then last, we have Tropical Punch, which has been a fast-growing favorite in my teal collection. Grab for it a lot more these days than I ever used to. And I did leave out purple, so
whoops.
You could add it if you wanted to.
Linda has a question. Are there any other mini slim stencils that you can shift like you did this stencil today?
Are
there any requirements if you're shifting that you look for as far as details or?
Well, it has to be a symmetrical pattern. So I know we have a 6x6 stencil called Polka Party that you can shift. The dots are bigger. You really can shift any stencil. It just might not be perfectly aligned. But stencil shifting is a fun technique that I've tried with other patterns before. If the pattern isn't super busy, you can, sometimes if it's a really busy pattern, it starts to hurt your eyes when you shift it. But stencil shifting is something fun to try, even with non-symmetrical. But if you want your pattern then to come out looking like equally spaced pieces of dots like this one does, then you would have to have that equally spaced symmetrical pattern. Hopefully that helps answer your question, but
yes.
Try it out. Nothing harmed. It's just paper. If you end up trying one and it makes your eyes dizzy once you shift it, then you know. But I do know that Polka Party is one that I have shifted before, and it looks really good too. It is not a mini slim, however, if that was part of the question or requirement for her. Okay, stencil's clean. Pattern is done on the front, looks cute, it's fun. It's a little bit different with the every other dot being white and then the rainbow cascading from the top. All right, so I'm gonna give this a good crease again while we go to the next step, which is actually, I'm gonna set this aside and we are going to do our image, color our image, stamp it, die cut it, all of those good things. Okay, have a piece of sugar cube cardstock here. I am using my black foam pad in the Misty because we have a clear stamp. This one is called B Unicorn, so BE-Unicorn. And he's super cute. He, I guess, if you want it to be a she or it is super cute.
Did you show your mini slims, the one with the hearts? Someone was asking about this stencil as well.
Yeah, I did show this at the beginning. This is not a repeated design. This is just the way the stencil is. It looks like it might be a little close to be repeating. I think the hearts might be too close together to repeat it, but this is a great one to use. But you might not get to do that stencil shifting with it. All right, I'm using Oreo ink to stamp this, and our Oreo ink is hybrid, which means that it's compatible with our Olo markers that I'll be using to color with this, or color this with. There we go. Actually, I'm going to take this off here. And let me show you the colors we're going to be using today. So I'll bring all of these on screen And if you want to screenshot them, or I know that sometimes Charlie does screenshots and posts them in the comments as well. So these are the colors that I'm going to be using to color our little unicorn. Thing I love about this one is it's super easy to color. It looks like a lot of colors, but really all we're using all these colors for is the little pieces of hair at the top. So it's going to be super simple. And before I start, let me pause for a little more tea.
It truly is tea time with Taylor today.
That is true. Very few times is it actually me drinking tea. I do enjoy spilling the tea.
Yes! Woo-hoo.
Okay, so let's start with the pink color. This is RV 1.3 and 1.5. I'm going to start with the darker color, adding that in towards the top of the hairline on our little unicorn. And then blending that out and down with the lighter color. Now the orange is 2.4. This one I'm just going to color in. I did not grab the blending color for this, and I think that's okay. For the yellow, we have YO 2.3 and 2.5. So I'll take the darker up towards the top and then the lighter and pull that down towards the bottom. I do have to tell you guys, now that I have this Olo marker storage tower, I am going to need to reconfigure all of my markers, because now that I can see both ends in my storage solution, I love the idea of having my markers connected. But I did want to mention that if you love the Olo marker tower and you have these handles on, you can still fit these. They still fit in the storage tower, but you'd only be able to see obviously one marker. The spinning factor wouldn't be needed for you because the back doesn't have another color on it. Okay, green. This is YG 1.4 that I started with and 1.2 that I blended out. My blue always leans more teal, so I'm using BG 2.4 and 2.1. Just darker color first towards the top, and then the lighter color pulled down. And then for the purple, I have BV 4.5, and I don't have a blending color for that one either. So we'll just pop it down. R 5.1 is going to be the unicorn's, I guess, snout, you would call it. Oh, and Wit, I forgot zero. Can you grab me a zero?
Absolutely.
And then CG1, I'm going to use for the body here, just kind of pulling a little bit of color in from the edges. And then now that Whitney got me my zero, I'm going to take that zero blender and kind of pull that shade in, the very light pink, so that it feathers out into nothingness and looks blended. And then we'll do the same up here. I am just going to leave the cloud white. So here's our finished colored image. I am going to add some glitter on the horn and the star, which I'll do in just a second here, but I need to do the die cutting before we do the glittering. So I'll grab my coordinating die and line that up. Send it through here, and then we get to do the fun glittery part. Okay, so to glitter the horn and the star, I have my TE All That Glitters Gold color. This is just a loose glitter, and you can see it's gold color. And then I have the Zig two-way glue pen. So we're just going to add a little bit of glue onto the horn. And then this one is up at the top nicely, so I can simply just dip the horn in there and tap it off. Look how cute that is. And then we'll do some right inside the star. This one's a little bit tougher to dip, so I'm going to need to grab scrap paper. Okay, a little bit of scrap paper, and actually not a little bit. I grabbed a gigantic sheet of scrap paper. And we'll tap that off.
Cute!
I know, those little sparkly accents really add a lot to the colored image and make him look super fun. There he is. All right. Okay, so I am going to stamp a sentiment inside of that. So I'm going to grab my Misty back again. And put that back in here. I don't want to put the magnet on my glitter, so we will grab the stamp set again. It has several sentiments in it that are designed to fit inside of that cloud. I have Make-A-Wish, Celebrating You, and Happy Birthday. I'm going to do Celebrating You on this one. I think I did Make-A-Wish on the other ones. And since I don't have to worry about alcohol marker compatible for the sentiment, I'm going to use Versafine Clair. There it is. Now we're ready to assemble our trifold card. We'll grab our piece that we have put the pattern on the front. Now for the inside, I want to call out that square, so I use the coordinating dies. The same die that we use to cut the square into this layer, I also use to cut a piece of saltwater taffy cardstock, and that's going to sit just inside of this opening, but then it's going to be adhered to this back panel. Before I adhere it, I'm going to blend it just a touch with Tropical Punch. Give it some cloudy dimension, a little bit of airiness. And then we'll put our adhesive on here. And with this closed, this provides the perfect template then to make sure this is in just the right spot. And then when we open that up, our square is perfectly aligned so that when your card is closed, you're going to see that through the back. Then I'm going to let this glue dry just a little bit longer on my glittered piece, and we'll go ahead and do the clouds. So these clouds came from our Cloud Stacklets set, and there are 4 of them that I've pre-cut. 2 of them are going to go behind here to add some dimension to this front frame. I'll just go ahead and add a little bit of adhesive to the bottom of the clouds and tack those onto the opening here. Okay, so now we have a little bit of added dimension by putting a little something behind there. And then we'll go ahead and glue this in. So this is going to go all the way on the inside back panel. I want to make sure that my unicorn can be seen through the frame. And when we close this over, you can also adjust these a little bit if you wanted to put them down a little bit farther. I didn't use permanent adhesive, so I can still get these up and move them just slightly down if I want to be able to see a little bit more of the unicorn. And then I'll put some adhesive on the back of here. I kind of like to be able to see where that's going to land before I tack it down. Looks good. So we'll go ahead and press that in place. And then our last and final step is to finish the front of the card where the sentiment is. So I have this sentiment that came from, oh, now I'm going to forget the name of the stamp set. Hooray, it's your day. No, Happy Hooray. So I'm going to be using the Hooray, it's your day from the Happy Hooray set. I have one that's already stamped and cut out, so let me show you what I'm going to do with this. I only wanted the Hooray. I didn't want the It's Your Day for this particular project, so I need to just cut off the bottom of that sentiment if I can find my scissors.
Oh no! Is it lost in the crafty chaos?
Okay. Seems like it always disappears right when I need it. Okay, so I'm just going to trim around that bottom Y with my scissors. Does anybody else trim their sentiments apart sometimes when you just don't need part of it or need it to be just a little bit shorter? I do find that I trim my sentiments occasionally. So I wanted it to fit right up here on the front of the card, and I'm going to go ahead and pop that up with some foam tape. So we'll fringe our foam here to get a couple smaller pieces. Oops. If I can hang on to it with my hands while I take the backing paper off. All right. And then the other sentiment set that I pulled out to use with this is the Mini Strips Magical, which was designed specifically with unicorns in mind and has some perfect sentiments for unicorn themed cards. And then I have this card where I used one of the sentiments. It says, Hooray, you are magical. I think I'll do that one again. You could do Hooray, let's celebrate you. But I did let's celebrate you, or celebrating you on the inside. So I don't want to do that one. I want the you are magical. Here's a look at that sentiment set, Mini Strips Magical. I don't know how long we've been frozen, but you can still hear me. Hi! Hi! Let me try and switch to maybe a graphic and see if it pops back up at any point. Maybe it's just the camera that was frozen. Everybody still hearing us?
Nope, I'm not seeing it. Oh, yeah, there we go. Now try to go back.
Oh, shoot. It looks like it's frozen. Okay, well, I have an idea. This camera's not frozen, so how does that work?
Perfect!
I mean, I'm almost done with the cards, so we could do just like card making in the air. Everybody know how to do that? So, air card making. I'm going to put some adhesive on the back of my sentiment.
I love this so much!
There we go. This was my last step, or one of them anyway. And then we're going to do this. You are magical. And then all we have to do is a couple of clouds, and then I can let everyone go and
feel fulfilled in their day.
Yes.
They know how to make a magical card.
So these two little clouds, here we are, air card making again. Everybody see? Here, I'll get a little closer. We're going to put one cloud here. My voice is almost gone anyway, so it's probably good that we're almost done. And then I'm putting another cloud here. And then we'll just trim those off. So here's our card. It's so great, right? Actually, this camera is back now. So here we are. That was a fun little exercise in
air card making.
Air card making.
Look forward to learning more about that technique later.
Yes.
The air card making techniques.
You know, I didn't watch the inauguration yesterday, but I heard there was a glitch in Carrie Underwood's, I guess, microphone or something.
Oh.
But people were saying she handled it like a pro. And I just was thinking about that as I was like, not really handling this like Carrie Underwood did, apparently, but trying to handle the malfunctions with like a pro. Anyway, kind of funny. All right, so there we go. We've got some beautiful cards despite technological difficulties. And lots of cards using our Bee Unicorn. So many fun ideas for that. I don't know about you guys, but I give unicorn cards to adults too. So
yes.
I don't really think of this as just a kid card. Ask Jill Hawkins. She got a unicorn for her birthday in, well, her birthday's in October. Pretty sure it arrived in November, but yeah, she got a unicorn card this year, and I send them all the time. Friends, family, adults, kids, whoever it is, loves unicorns. All right, you guys, thanks for hanging in there with me today, and I hope you have a good rest of your week. I know Susan's here on Thursday with another fun project to share with you, so make sure you mark your calendar, 10 o'clock on Thursday. Hopefully I get to feeling better, and I can be back to my usual chatty self with you guys next week on Tuesday, where we have, is it, Whitney? Is it our first book, our first kit of the year?
Yes!
Yes! Okay. I'm super excited. All right. I will see you guys next